getting any audio?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Fantastic. I think we're getting ready to get underway here.
Why'd you quit? I spent a year. Should I round up these kids over here and see if they want to come?
Good. Say I'm the mayor and I got cops, so you come over here now.
Yeah.
I don't know that camera. I will.
Yeah, that'd be great. Program? All right. Program?
I got one in my pocket.
All right, excellent.
Thank you. I can put it in my car.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Yes.
So you're like getting that position and learn and grow.
The mayor's gonna be presenting Dad's gonna be and Ray Underhill's dad is gonna.
So y'all living up in Fort? You can go much further unless you get the convention. Where do y'all live in this? Oh, okay. There's Lyle.
That over there is gonna be fun. You guys gonna add that to the mule. That's what's gonna happen. And you know what I think? It's gonna go left and
That was an art project from 91.
on the wall. Yes.
Yeah, I had chicken fights. Oh, it's so bad. I was like, that's probably 15 or 16. It was like spring break. I know.
Hey,
That's what I spent.
David. Oh, does he know you? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
I'm sure.
That is my word. I wore my Charlie Brown shirt.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's kind of dirty.
I'm thinking that's what. Wow.
How is your day?
This is celebration.
It's about to start.
Well, he was so good to talk to.
Those are probably dry right. It's been in my closet. I've got all that smell, so.
They had the one in Raleigh for the second year.
Ray Underhill Road that's painted on it.
We get wrapped right.
Where'd you find that? Landon here. Well, thanks for the
Yeah, we've been.
It's like 10 on this road, but
But y'all hold it down proper, so.
10 of us. All right.
We're still a little bit of my dusty house. That's something.
Brian. David.
All right, we're Facebook Live. Everybody say hi. we ready?
Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Is everybody ready? Brian, you ready? Philip, you want my phone? Philip. Underhill family, would y'all like to join me?
Okay, sure. It works.
Now there's a microphone over there.
Do you want me to use it?
Yeah, just hot mic.
Mom.
Why don't everybody come a little closer?
She's saying, but who's going to take
Oh, you can, yeah. Where's Harold? Harold.
Sharon.
That's
You
video.
want to help her, Mom? I think she's looking for an excuse not to be over here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, particularly our skaters, y'all wave and say hey. Glad to see a bunch of you here today. Don't leave before we're finished because I want to tell you something before you do. But we're here today to celebrate two things. One is a fabulous art installation in the city of Gallatin, right here at Thompson Park. And the other is the influence on a lot of you all of the skater of Ray Underhill. Now, Ray Underhill, I knew about him through my brother and my nephew. Many of you know that they're skater people, and that's kind of where my love of skateboarding comes from. But I want to tell you just a little bit about him. He was I'm gonna say all the wrong things, and you can correct me, Jake. I do. But he was a big skater in the 80s when skateboarding first became such a big deal. And I can remember my brother following all the skaters. But he was a part of the Bones Brigade, which was kind of the iconic skateboard team that people still talk about today. He was in commercials with Tony Hawk, and he did lots of just really big things for the time and exposed skateboarding to people that had never even thought about it. It was influence of that group of skaters that led to skate parks like the one that we have here today. His parents recounted the story to Jeff Henschel, who helped with this whole project, that they remember when he had saved his money and he left for California in 1980. He said his parents cried as he drove away from their home on Cage's Bend in his Ford Fiesta. And as I was talking to them today, they were telling me that until he actually became ill, they had no idea how well known he was. And then they got messages from around the world of people lending their support and love and concern and care for this man who had influenced them in some way in their life. And so I think it's fabulous that we have in Gallatin this beautiful piece of work that commemorates the importance of what he has brought to so many of your lives. So for that, I'm very grateful, and it's just beautiful. I certainly want to tell you all who the artist is and tell you a little bit about him. And that's Bryan Deese, the one holding the board. I'll let y'all talk about the significance of the board and all that in a minute. But Gallatin mural artist Bryan Deese has been lives here in Gallatin, and he actually came to us and he said, I want to do an art project in Gallatin. And we talked about several things at one time, but then he came back a little while later and he said, I have one I want to do, and I'll do it for free, and this is what it is. And David Brown, our parks director, who's back there in the gold Beretta sweatshirt, graciously agreed to let it go here. This is technically, I think, the concession stand for the ball field, but it faces the skate park. And a lot of us felt that having this here overlooking the skate park was very, very significant for our community, for in proper remembrance, and for the skaters. So I hope you feel that it's special here as well. But Bryan has been painting murals around Nashville for the last decade. You've seen several of them likely. The Johnny Cash and Loretta Lynn are two iconic ones that you've likely tripped across. I'm going to introduce the Underhill family. His father and his wife are here, his brother, and several other family members. And I think I'm going to, one more thing I want to share with you before I ask you to say a few words, if you're willing to. He looks at me kind of strangely.
Well, all I'm going to say is, I'm going to thank you.
No.
You got to be more specific for me to say it.
We were in our efforts to properly acknowledge him and you and this mural, we did reach out to Tony Hawk, and Tony Hawk did graciously send us several comments about Mr. Underhill, and one of them I want to share with you. Some are in the press release, and we've laid them to media. But this is one that he said that I thought you all would really appreciate. He says, "My nickname for Ray was BDE, meaning best dude ever. And I mean that in every sense. He was a prolific skater and the most fun to travel with. A devoted husband, a loving father, a talented artist and musician, a hard worker, and the best friend you could ever ask for. And he did it all with effortless finesse." And I thought those were lovely words to describe somebody that most of us never met. So I wanted to share those with you. And at this point, I would ask Mr. Underhill if you'd like to say anything on behalf of your family. Please come here.
All right.
Mr. Underhill, what do you think about the work?
This work. Oh, great. It's fantastic. I don't know how he did it. I can't imagine doing it with spray paint. But no, he did a great job, and we're real pleased with it. I think the whole family is.
Were you nervous at how it might turn out?
No. I was watching it about every other day. No, he did a great job. We're proud of him. Yeah.
Anything you want to share about your son that you'd like for everyone here to know?
Well, we miss him a lot. He was just so easygoing. I mean, just like you said, the things that we didn't even know about him. He didn't talk about a lot of it. But he, good kid, young man. No problems out of him. Good father. I can't say anything bad about him. I mean, if he is my kid, I'm supposed to say good things, but I can't. He was a great kid. Hard to watch him go over the hill when he went to California. Of course, most of his adult life, he was either in California or North Carolina. We, for a lot of years there, we didn't see him very much, but we kept up with him.
How does it feel to know how widespread his influence has been?
Well, initially it was unbelievable when we found out. Because we were just reading the website where people all around the world, he was having illness. Talking to them about it, they say, "Well, you don't remember me, but you helped me, such and such," and do. He was outgoing to everybody that he met. So.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for your son's contribution to so many lives.
Well, I was want to just thank you and Bryan for heading this up and making it happen. And the family appreciates that. And Carrie and Keaton and I'm going to go black yet. I was going to say Olivia, but I was just going black. They couldn't make it. They tried every way in the world to get here, and if they could have, they would have been here.
Well, I hope they'll get to come here at some point.
And they, they're thankful for this, and they really appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Start with you caught me off guard.
Thank you so much. Carrie was Ray's wife, and Keaton and Olivia are the children, and they live in North Carolina. Okay. All right. Well, at this point, I'd invite Bryan Deese to come forward and talk about the mural and the project. And a lot of people have asked me, why did you want to do this? I've tried to speak for you, but I want to hear it in your words.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to Mayor Paige Brown and how supportive the mayor's office has been about this whole project. And thank you also to the Parks Department for allowing this to happen. But I'm one of those skaters that were getting on that website. I didn't personally get on that website, but that's the same sentiment I had. I never knew Ray Underhill personally, but I just knew the legend of Ray Underhill. When I started skating, as a young teenager in the late 80s, he was at the pinnacle of the skateboarding industry. And when I found out he was from Middle Tennessee as a young person, it was mind-blowing and very inspirational. And I have always just looked up to Ray Underhill and his style, and have always heard that he was a better person than skateboarder. And so I live in Gallatin. I still skateboard. I skateboard around this park usually in the morning before any of the locals are here, because they all want to challenge me to a game of skate, and I'm no good. So I come out here when there's no one here. But you know, one of the things I do as a mural artist is recognize incredible walls that could be activated with a mural. And I know how murals bring communities together. And so I would always skate around this park and look up there and really envision there should be a Ray Underhill mural there. You know, Ray's from Sumner County, and that would just be the best thing. And so I was skating around last night after it was pretty much all the way done, and it was that. It's like it worked out really well, the way his gaze is kind of looking onto the people skating in the park with an approving smirk, I think. But he just really influenced me, and skateboarding has always been a part of my life. I think it's a culture that you don't just have to be an incredible athletic skater to have value within the skateboard community. It appreciates art. It's kind of a culture where athleticism meets art, and that always appealed to me. And so there's two things I say. I love to push two things. I love to push a skateboard around, and I love to push paint on walls. And this allowed me to kind of combine both of those. And I just am so thrilled that my first mural in Gallatin, a place where my wife and I and my family have decided to make this our home, and we love this community. And I'm just so excited to be a part of this community. And one of the things that I didn't know was going to happen, but was probably the best thing that happened, was how many people I've been able to meet and talk to, especially the family. They have been so supportive of this whole project and really gracious with their time and helping getting permissions for copyrights and different permissions that we needed to get, and always had a kind word and supportive word. And it's just really meant a lot. And, you know, I felt a part of this community before this project, but during this and now on completion, I really feel a part of this community, and it really feels like home, and it really feels good. And I just appreciate all of y'all.
Well, I think we need to give him a round of applause for this fabulous artwork. We are so thrilled, so impressed, and I am absolutely in love with the image. Family, I hope he said something that you'll remember to hold on to. I love what he said when he said he had heard that he was an even better person than skateboarder. I thought that was beautiful. Now, understand that there's a finishing touch that's going to be added to this wall. Maybe, maybe not.
Yes, not right now, but
Okay.
There's definitely another logo that needs to be added, and that's for the Ray Underhill Foundation. And that's the foundation his wife Carrie runs from North Carolina, and it's to benefit other families who are going through similar illnesses and cancer. And I don't think there's probably anyone here who hasn't been touched by, you know, that illness. And so we definitely want to have that logo included, so that when people see this and they start to get out their smartphone, if they don't already know who Ray Underhill is, and start to research, that they find the Ray Underhill Foundation as well. And I want to give a personal shout out to Carrie and Olivia and Keaton for how supportive they've been on the whole project. And I really do appreciate that. Yes.
They have been lovely in being supportive and open to this, and we so wish they could be here today. We hope that they will visit soon. I think you're FaceTiming over here. Carrie, we hope you visit soon. And but let's give his wife and children a round of applause and let them know that we're appreciative and we are thinking of them today. And it's the Ray Underhill Foundation, and I'm sure that they would appreciate any donations. And I will mention before we close that we are hoping to have more murals here in the city of Gallatin, and we would certainly love to use Bryan. And we're looking at ways to get them approved, first of all, and then to pay for them, because that artwork is worth a whole lot of money for us. Finally, I do want to mention, since I have a group of skaters here, Parks Director David Brown right there is looking at future projects for the city of Gallatin for the parks. And those of you who know me know that I would love a concrete skate park in this community. So what I'm asking of you all is to rally the troops and help show support for that. I know you skaters would enjoy it, but we need to know that it's important to the people who aren't skaters, because they love and care about you, and they see the opportunities for future generations to grow and develop and have the same kind of experiences that you have when you skate. I'm not a skater, but I've observed it for a lot of years, and I remember my initial amazement at watching the sportsmanship among skaters. It is model. And it's an individual sport, but all the skaters encourage each other, teach each other, hold each other up, support each other, help each other. And I just found it to be so beautiful. And so this is why I love skateboarding. And I think it's something that a lot of people my age or don't understand about it. And so let's show that there's support for that, and I hope there's support for that in this community. And we have to educate people and expose them to that, and then get the feedback that would support the city investing money in that kind of park. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I want to thank you all again for being here today. Thank you to the Underhill family. Thank you to Ray Underhill for all that you did for so many people and making a difference in a lot of people's lives, even still now. And thank you, Bryan Deese. I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope you enjoy our skate park. I hope you enjoy this mural, and look forward to what's next in our community. And we do have a tree lighting at 5 o'clock, so join us on the square if you like. Good day, y'all.
Hey, Bryan Deese, photobombing. Thank you.
I'm Ray's cousin. He actually helped me getting started. Yeah, my brother. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. I knew that he was this big. No, he was like that big. Yeah. I know. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Start writing.
Thank you again.
Okay. Love you.
Hey. Bye.
Love you.
Well, no, I mean, I think that's a start. I think, Philip's talking to David, they're talking about designs and stuff. There's actually a grant. Grants like that.
I guarantee.
I'm ready too. They got approval. We just got approval in like 2 weeks ago. I've had the design.
She was even talking about drag.
Can I catch you for just a minute? I'm trying to get some of Nashville Public Radio.
You have the keys?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. So we're still live. And I talked about
Well, it's all right.
is the coach changed or something?
I would love that. I would love that. We'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye. We're gonna go to the tree line. Oh, you saw this before? All right, make crazy faces.
You so got beat on the crazy faces. You don't even know.
They're young. They know how to do them.
Why drink?
I'm taking her.
I texted
I don't know.
she's
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see him all the time up there.
The other guy, that was my I don't know what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Small. I will. That's hard. I know. Makes them lock in even more. Yeah, we went to Traverse last today for a field trip. Yeah, they learned on Virginia apple cider, like cut it in sugar. She got there with you. Yeah. Well, man, I think things are coming out. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm glad. I mean, I was gonna. I'll do that and run up. I didn't realize they had. Yeah, I think there's more now. They're not relegated to parking lots like they were back in my time. Yeah. Back alleys and broken down sound lines. So. I hope not. Well, I
Here, my mom. That's my mom. Let me.
Oh, I see. You're gonna move that for mom.
I know. That's my friend Amanda. She takes amazing photos. So. I hear she's a Photoshop queen. All right. Yeah, I hear that. Thanks for coming.
No, that's not a problem.
Maybe one day we'll How do you like that?
Okay, ladies, one group picture. Okay. I wasn't being honest.
We have no idea. We don't have any of this stuff at home. It's all. You can do it on anything, but it just takes like. It's all the techniques are different. Yeah, he's got different like.
Yeah, there's usually always a few folks who cross it. I'm not as good as something. Yeah. I want to show everybody look up here. Up there, look up. All right. No problem. Super high res.
I don't have any makeup.
Oh, he's moving it.
Hey, thanks again. Thanks again. Maybe the first minute. Thank you.
Yeah, no. Try to do it in Christmas.
Bye.
I can't wait.
After this.
Bye.
We will. Bye.
So I said earlier that I started to wear my underwear like that, but it was a mock turtleneck, and I thought, that just got for me. It was like a mock turtleneck. I really didn't. I didn't even know I could wear it. I think that mock turtleneck, that's the one that got it.
Yes, thank you. I am so glad to meet you all.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Please call us anytime.
Get your home ready for Christmas at JCPenney. Starting Thursday, get up to 20% off major appliances plus an extra 10% from brands like GE, Samsung, LG, and Frigidaire. And get 18-month special financing on purchases made with your JCPenney credit card made by December 5th. Plus free delivery and basic installation on purchases over $299. Hurry and soon. JCPenney. Restrictions apply. Subject to credit approval. Must respond to time of purchase. Minimum monthly payments required.
Told me he was going to do it. She called me over and I graduated. I started walking around. Wait a minute, I'm supposed to say Shaw when I graduated. My graduation, so if we were 16 and 18 when we moved, and I would have been 16. Well, give me the decals. And I would take a guess. Nobody's got a question.
Hello everyone, Domino's here. There's a sound you should get used to. That's right, we love our customers, and we're not above a little kissing up, and that's why we have a ridiculously good deal. We're giving you half off all pizzas when you order online. Go to Domino's.com, select the coupon, and get all pizzas for 50% off menu price. But hurry, it's only valid through December 7th. Oh, yes, we did. Online only. Limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Offer applies to the pizza portion of your order only.
No, but some of them you can check in. That's right. Bet on that. You did a good job.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I got. Well, here's actually one of those boards.
Okay, yes.
Were you going to text it to you, or? I'll just keep it.
I'm sure he'll see when you get it.
Well, let's see. We'll catch those two guys. Still looks like everything is. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
All right, pleasure to meet you.
See you later. Be careful. You got the magazine? Yeah.
Usually siblings have all the good stuff. So, yeah, I mean, but my cell phone too is on the bar.
How's it going, man?
Oh, okay, nice to meet
You met my wife that time at that party.
Just having a fun one.
Well, man, thanks for coming out, dude. Appreciate it.
Are you for real? Yeah, I see my
Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. I saw Ross.
Is there a room? You're going to drop beside it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is.
Isn't that good?
This is this latest version. Did you like it? Very exciting.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks. Is that a lot?
Oh, yeah, you look right there.
You did a live feed.
Yeah.
I'm his brother.
Yeah, you like my public speaking? Huh?
Nailed it.
Alright, good.
This is Ray's mom.
That's what they teach you not to do. Get rid of your verbal tics, you know, and I got
You're Brian's son.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah. I talked to you. You know what I want to do? I want to come to your house and play your Donkey Kong machine. I'm very jealous about your Donkey Kong machine that you have at your house.
come over one time.
I'm very jealous about that.
We'll get a tournament in.
I mean, this is all like really cool. We've got like a few brothers.
Got everybody. And one of his skateboards.
Yeah.
12 to 6 tomorrow.
I know, right?
Alright, come here, guys. Stand right here. Amanda's going to take a good shot of it. Come here. Yeah, bring the board. Bring the board. You got it. Why not use it? And then we got to give it up. Although I would,
You know, we moved to Gallatin, so just because we had been renting for like 8 years. So yeah, we had
He's never in a bad picture.
I know.
Why is every shot from down here? My selfie look here. Every shot from like this way. We just can't do a do-over and bring the sunlight back out again.
And the ideal time is
Yeah, exactly. The boys are
Dude, I have the every shot is like the most unfortunate shot. The Olin Mills pose. Unfortunately, fortunately, you find don't. Did you get there? They go. Okay. Turn your head this way. Now this way.
All right, I gotta tell you.
This way.
We go better.
The funny thing is, the Uncle Rico thing and the Holy Dynamite is Olin Mills. The whole thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cool. We in the ground.
Yeah. All right, dude. Thanks for showing support.
Oh my gosh. Brian gets so sick on those. Yeah.
Next time you need support on a public appearance, I'll be there. And if you need any tips on public speaking, hit me up.
Yeah. That's me. I love movies. We got married in my grand's house. The aquarium's cool. We love that. There's like the sharks like swim over. They got one of those tunnel things you can go through. It's fun.
Yeah.
For what? Oh, I want to see the picture. So I'm gonna
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Which is heavier, the longer the coat?
This keeps getting so big so quick. I don't know how long I'll be able to do this.
Yeah, I've been talking with Ray.
Oh, cool.
I got a picture of that.
It was scary.
Hey, thanks again, dude. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, yeah. And so she's always back there into skating.
Yeah, put it back in the picture too.
Yeah, no, exactly. But she sees like how it's helping him, you know, and
Oh, okay. You already chatted?
Yeah, and I mean, I can tell you that a final cut
Oh, pretty good. I just cropped it.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So you cropped it till I'm in it?
No, that was one of just the mural.
I just took the.
You got a picture of him with the boat.
So, man, yeah, the micro thins, they like to crop pretty quick.
Man,
So,
thank you.
hey, thanks
Stay in
again.
touch.
It was-
I got your
Yeah,
number.
man. Hey, dude, we're Facebook friends.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, I'm just up
we'll
in
be seeing.
I'm just up in White House, so not that far.
Well, man, when you got an itching for Donkey Kong, give a call.
Last night I was
We'll
loading.
turn that thing on.
Last night I was loading Sega CDs onto my Raspberry Pi.
Oh, cool.
Like 8 or 10 of them. It's like I'm like, how much can I cram on this 32 gig card?
And if you like Mario Kart, man, we'll get down on some Mario Kart too. But
He's like he's between his PlayStation 4 and his Xbox One. He's like somewhere between both of those.
Yeah. So any of those new ones, we're not too good at.
No, I like the classics. I'll take a Dig Dug any day.
Yeah. I've got Dig Dug on the machine.
Do you?
Yeah.
How many are on that machine? Oh, because you said you put several games on.
Yeah, like 56 or something like that.
I wish I could get. I'd actually love to get an old Tron, upright Tron.
Oh yeah.
Because that has the dial and everything.
Yeah, and my favorite game was Cubert. And I was like, and you put Cubert on it, and he's like, unfortunately not, because everything was at a 45-degree angle.
The normal joysticks don't?
He told me he couldn't.
Cubert was awesome.
Word, but I love Cubert. It's one of my favorites.
Cubert's awesome. If you remember, before they started disabling him, had a relay in the bottom. So when he would fall, he'd go, and the whole bottom of the cabinet would go bonk. It hit the bottom.
I never.
Yeah, it was a thumper like a pinball machine.
Oh, that's
bonk.
very cool.
He didn't make the noises or whatever. But he would, like when it would fall, it would drop down, or it would trigger a relay in the cabinet. So if you ever find a Cubert machine, look for that relay, make sure it's enabled. It's probably just if it's still in there, it's
well,
where it's a
that guy
dipstick.
had a Cubert machine, and it's his own personal one, who I got it from. Yeah, it looks. He let me play a game, but it didn't do that when it died.
When you this is the guy you got the house from, or the?
No, who built the cabinet?
Yeah, where did you find this guy?
He's in like the Jolton area.
Okay, did you find him just googling around?
Craigslist.
Oh, okay. Ask him, or if you ever get a hold of one, I mean, since it's your favorite game, check and see if there's a relay still in it, and then look. It's probably a dip switch setting on the board. If it's the original board. If it's not, those emulator boards probably have a menu you can go into.
Oh.
But I don't know on those emulators whether or not it'll do it or not. But it was pretty cool because it would do the little bump at the bottom whenever you fall.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. Maybe it just got to be too much of a hassle or something.
Yeah.
All right, man, we'll stay in touch. She's gonna skate a session real quick, and then we're gonna go.
Okay. Well, it was nice to meet you. Thank you for coming out. It was a big inspiration for me.
If that's the one I gotta worry about, actually.
A lot of people still to this day, big inspiration. They really laid it down and laid the foundation for this whole skateboarding community. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, dude. I'm a sentimental sap too, so I'm about to start crying too. So hey.
Well, it's good to look a lot of depression. So she's crying because she's stuck in me.
Yes, you told me that's so cool.
And you met Lyle, right?
Yeah, I come out. Oh, your mom?
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. He came out one night when I was painting, and we chatted for a little bit.
Lyle, you got the problem I got. We ain't got as short as hair, do we?
Yeah.
Dude,
Everybody's like, your hair's right.
Look at this dude. It's not coming out either. Yours is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go, it's not coming out, it just comes off in one piece.
Okay,
dude, we got the same coloring.
Yeah.
Mine's grayer than yours, I think.
Well, I'm really fine.
You got us beat, then again.
Distinguished though, that's good.
Yeah, I just say chicks dig it. My wife doesn't let me date anymore though, so she's not really down with that for some reason. I don't know what her problem is. All right, guys. Well, it's good to see you, man. I'll see you on Facebook. Send me some pics.
Hey, y'all go to the tree lighting. I'm going to jump in the park and skate around.
Okay.
And then I'll meet you at the house. No one's coming over.
Well, okay, your mom's taking us out to dinner. That's what she thinks. She's waiting in the car right now.
I told her that you were going to the tree lighting. I told her I was going to skate around.
Okay.
I'll meet y'all wherever you want to go. I'll meet you there. I'm not going to skate for long, but I've got a few friends that came up from Nashville over there and stuff. Let's argue. Argue on Facebook.
I skated another day. It's too long. What's the last time I skated?
Yeah, we did. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I just started watching it happen.
Well, you watched it behind the camera from the drone.
You know that's not stuff, yeah. No, at our house, they were building our
He's the Deese family ambassador.
Yeah, she's our best foot. We send it out forward every time.
Yeah.
Maybe my memory is circular.
I could have broken over this whole show if I wanted to.
Yeah, I asked her for gracious to play the background.
He's like Jake. He's got the gift of the gab.
We're still working on snaps.
That's close enough.
Oh!
not very fortunate.
Hey, I'm a skateboarder. We're still live on Facebook.
Uh-oh.
I do, man, every time. All right. I'll see you soon, okay? Nah, I'm gonna come back in the morning. How much fun being a dad would be until I was one, you know? Yeah, that's really good. So I'm gonna grab my board and show these guys I can at least push around a little. Maybe follow.
You're locked in.
Yeah, I'm coming through. I'll come through in the morning to